No matter where you live in this great country of ours, if you're thinking about planting tomatoes now, you are heading in the right direction. Some of us are lucky enough to have some plants well and truly on the go, but for most of us, it's all about the crop that's about to come. The season that'll provide you with summer fresh salad tomatoes and those amazing sauce tomatoes. It doesn't matter what variety you've got, you will be thinking about growing them from either seed, from seedling, or from a starter plant just like this. But there are some things that you can do that will be the difference between success and failure. There's a couple of rules with tomatoes, in fact most vegetables, before you plant them. Never plant them in exactly the same spot you grew them in the year before, unless you're replacing 60 to 70% of the soil and you're sure there was no disease in the older plants at the end of the season. And remember, always plant them in a sunny, open spot that allows for some air movement through the plant. Always cultivate the soil thoroughly before planting and look to stimulate it with microbes, which can be done by using composts, worm castings or juice, and of course always adding a seaweed tonic. The reason it's important, well, if the soil microbes are booming along strongly, they'll be connecting with emerging roots as they grow. They're like nerve endings triggered into life, stimulating strong, healthy growth of the plant. Here's a handy little tip. If you want to get the very best results out of growing seedlings or any small starter plants, you need one of these containers. It's Seasol. Now this seaweed extract poured into a bucket half full of water, and then just grab your plants like that, or your seedlings like this, pop them in, let them soak in it for a couple of minutes before transplanting. I promise you it'll reduce transplant shock and get them off to the best possible start. Then plant them out, burying the plant, if you're using seedlings like this, a little bit deeper than the current soil level. Now there's very few plants you'd ever do this with, but with tomatoes it'll trigger even more root development and quicker establishment in the garden. Here's another handy tip. If you really do want to get the very best results, you grab yourself some of this. Now this is PowerFeed, but it's specially designed for tomatoes and vegetables. You mix it in a watering can, and it's about 20 to 40 mils. You mix it around, make sure it's thoroughly mixed in, and then you water it over the foliage and around the root system. Now, you do it twice a week, and I promise you the results you're going to see from this are absolutely incredible. Maintain it for about 6 weeks. The plants will reach mature size very, very quickly. They're getting optimum nutrition, so you get full growth and in a very short period of time produce masses of flower, which means you get earlier crops of fruit. Most importantly, really healthy plants. One more handy tip for you when you're growing tomatoes. Now, as this plant starts to grow up, keep pinching the side growth out. You want that central leader to come right up, and when it gets to the height that you want, pinch the top out of it, and then encourage some lateral growth across the sides. This spreads your crop of tomatoes out beautifully, makes them easy to pick. More importantly, it keeps them nice and open, free from pest attack, and keeps your plants looking fantastic.